Welcome again to our Soul Secret Stories with Shirley Machado and Ruth Walker. And we bring these stories to you to share a little bit of our traveling adventures. And because we have both been traveling over many years. And so today we thought about talking how we find lodgement or where we stay, because hotels get too expensive. I mean, when we travel over long periods of time, hotel stays are the rarity, the luxury. So often we find accommodation that are much cheaper, so we can stay longer. And so really that becomes the balance is, what am I willing to give up to have more time? And so I guess my first experience of where I really wanted to live on a budget, and I had a budget of 5 Swiss francs. And I was traveling in Thailand, 5 Swiss francs per day. And I was traveling in Thailand at that time. And in the 80s, we had travel guides that really helped us to find good accommodation. But at this time, I was in Bangkok. And I really liked Bangkok. It was a city of so much activity for me. And I stayed there several times and often for longer periods of time, which for me, I didn't often stay in cities. But Bangkok, I found really engaging, entertaining. There was so much to see, do, and learn. And so I found there was one street in Bangkok where a lot of guest houses were, and this is where the backpackers stayed. Do you remember that street, Shirley? I think it was called Sukhumvit, that area. And so there was guest house after guest house after guest house on a very long street. But I engaged with one guest house in particular, and the reason I went back there, I'll tell you in a moment, but the guest houses were very simple. You often got a room or you shared a room with a couple of people, and the bathroom was always shared. You didn't have your own bathroom. And in Thailand, the bathrooms had a stand-up toilet, so a toilet with the 2 foot pedals, and a big basin of cold water with a saucepan. That was your shower. So you just poured the saucepan over you, you soaped up and you cleaned yourself off. And those type of accommodation were very cheap. They were usually run by a family, 3 generations, and they were very family friendly. They really looked after the backpackers. And so the first time I stayed there, I was very comfortable. And then I went away. I went up to Chiang Mai and I came back. And when I came back, I was looking for a guest house again. The reason I went back to the same one over and over again is because one of the guys, so the owner, stood out the front and he saw me coming down the street and he recognized me. And he invited me back in. And I thought that was so amazing because he must see so many backpackers come and go every day. But he had such a personal touch that he recognized me on the street as I was approaching, because I wasn't intending to go to the same one. He recognized me and he said, "Oh, you're back. Come in. We've got a room." And he just made me feel so welcome. And it felt like home. And so that was really a really cool experience to have, because people cared so much that you wanted to, stay with them.
Yeah,
What was your
good.
experience, Shirley?
Oh, my experience went to Thailand with my friend, and you just booked 1 night in an Airbnb place. She said, "I don't want to do so organized. Let's doing the trip." I said, "That's all right." I booked the first night, 2 nights, and she said, "I'm going looking for a place for us." And she was looking, I was resting a little bit, and she touched me. "Darling, I found a beautiful place for us. It's really cheap. How the currency in Thailand is baht?" the currency over there. I think it's baht.
Baht,
she
yeah,
find-
yeah, baht.
And she finds and said 700, but I think it's good. You are going to book. I book it for us. And I said, it's awesome. And she showed me the place. When she looked, it was dollar, American dollar. And it was like more than half our baggage. And I said, oh my God, what I do? If you don't want to pay, you don't pay. I'm going to find a solution. I look at the place. I said, darling, let's do it. Let's go for this resort. And they arrive in the resort, madame, cocktail, and like very, very beautiful and expensive for us because you weren't with this kind of to do a resort. Then you had 3 days of like queen and you eat a lot because a lot of food and it was like, oh my God, too much food. And then you book one backpack back to Fifi Island. And you arrive late because you went to do some trip with boat. When you arrive at this backpack, was disgusting. Was 4 people. You didn't have it all. The bathroom is like you said, and the water float. I was like, oh my God, I wanna cry. I was a queen a few days ago.
It's a hard step down, isn't it?
Oh my God. And then I got sick because I had was full moon and they have ceremony on the beach and I drink one drink. I think the water was dirty and another day was totally sick in that backpack. But it was so good experience that you are in a resort and then you are in a backpack. This was really, really something that I'm not going to forget.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, luxury is luxury, but we don't always have it when we travel, and we don't always know where we're going to end up next, right? That's the other thing. It's not always planned like weeks and weeks in advance. Sometimes we're lucky to have it like planned a week in advance, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next episode.